Hello everyone. Today let's discuss about Apache Kafka, a distributed framework to handle real-time data in a fault-tolerant manner. Okay, so let's get started. Apache Kafka. Before I get to details of Apache Kafka on how exactly it works and what is its architecture, let me take you to the history of that, like why exactly it was needed at first place and why it was required to build. Okay, let's take an example of a retail application where we have a front-end services and we have back-end services. Where a transaction is done through a front-end service, like a customer buys a product, okay, it places an order, it goes to a front-end services, and then that data needs to move to the backend database so that we have a record of the transaction. Okay, so the engineers at this application, they need to build a pipeline, and that pipeline will connect from front-end application to the backend application. Pretty straightforward, correct? So we get data, we get it through front-end, and then we process through a pipeline and store into database. Okay, now assume that the company wanted to have additional features. They wanted to send emails as soon as the customer purchased something. They wanted to send some recommendations based on what is history of the customer. Okay, so then they need to add few more applications. So in the backend side, so we assume they have two more applications. Now similar data used to flow through these two different services. Okay, so two more pipelines needs to be built, which will interact from front-end application to back-end application. So that's all. It's also fine till this point. Assume there are more front-end applications which trying to access this data. There could be a scenario where I have different applications, different user interface, which is also sending data to these back-end databases, like storing the data or maybe sending email or recommendation. So then few more application on the front-end side, which all is trying to connect to these services. Okay, then more complex pipelines, more data needs to be, more pipeline needs to be built across the different services. This gets even more bigger when we have more backend and front-end application, and it's keep getting complex because all this application needs to talk to each other, do a synchronization, all these things. It increases a lot of complexities within the application, and with the bigger organization, it is even more complex. So LinkedIn was facing similar issues back then when they were working on their application. So they were receiving a lot of messages or a lot of traction on their platform, a lot of data coming in, and they want to store it. So this complexity is getting increased. So engineers at LinkedIn, they try to build up a system which can decouple this front end and the back end. So they introduce Apache Kafka, a platform in between which is decoupling the front end and the back end application, and which is allowing to the data from the front end application and the back end application. Okay, so this Kafka was built at LinkedIn, utilized at there, and once it is at a good stage, it is open source and managed by the community going forward. Okay, now let's get to the architecture and details of how exactly Kafka works, what are the nitty-gritties, and what are different components altogether. Okay, so we need to understand few different components when we need to understand Kafka. One is producer, one is consumer, topics, messages or events, or we call and broker. Okay, so let me take it about producers. So producers are normal applications. It could be a IoT based application, it could be a sensors, it could be a normal real-time feeds, it could be a streaming application which is streaming video and all. Okay, so these are called the producers, which are producing the data. Now talk about consumer. Consumer are the actual application or the system or the services who need to receive this data. Okay, so producer are producing a data, and then the consumer are consuming those data. Okay, so this is the these are the consumers. So consumer can any application, any system. Now let's talk about message and event. This is very important. Now why we call a message or event? So any data which is getting produced, it's a small piece of data. It could be like you are checking out, so that is one event. Okay, event. So then that's why we call it as a event or message. So if your IoT sensor is doing any temperature reading, so that is one event, that okay, this is the current temperature. That's the event or message. So that message is being produced by the producers. Okay, So this event can be a streaming video, that's a byte of array which is getting produced by the streaming device. Okay, so these all are called the events. Now these events from producer side need to be reached to the consumer. So then there is a then in between we call it as a system which is handling all these things. Okay, now let's understand the other component called topics. Okay, so topics you can assume as a pipeline where data is coming in and from one side and getting out from the other side. So producer are producing a data, pipeline is processing it, maybe handling it, and then sending it back to the consumer. Okay, so how it is, like it's in the order manner. So first message gets produced, it goes to the end of the pipeline, the consumer is consuming. So it's, you can assume it's a pipeline with the water flowing on. Okay, so as soon as message keep coming and it's going to the other side of the consumer, the order is always stored, so it will not go out of order. It will be in the same order as it is coming. So that's why Kafka is faster, because it don't have to manage those that okay, the consumer are not seeking in between. They are now, it's not seeking a data to get that data. They don't want to identify where data is. Okay, they are just seeking in the order it is coming in. So it's very fast. It is following that sequential manner. Okay, now assume data is coming in, it's getting stored and it's getting to the consumer. So we can have one topic for transactions. So all the transactions are coming to this topic. Okay, and the consumer, we can have multiple consumer who can consuming the same data. So it's a producer are publishing a data, and the consumer we call as a subscribers who are subscribing to this data, and they are getting all this information in a real-time manner. Okay, so far so good. So we can have more number of topics and all those things. All these topics are handled into a broker. So this is the name, the other component which I was talking about, brokers. So brokers are the servers or the part of the cluster which in the Kafka which handles all these topics. Okay, we can have n number of topics in a broker. This is also good. We can handle number of topics. We can handle these things. So, but assume that okay, my application is generating, because Kafka support millions of message. It can support millions of transactions in a real time. In 1 second, you can even populate millions of record. It can be consumed in the same similar time. Okay, it is with a very low latency, 10 milliseconds. That's what is recommended by Kafka. So then assume. It can also handle petabytes of data. So you can, it's mentioned that Kafka can scale to a petabyte of data. So I'll tell you how exactly it is happening, how it is handling this thing. So assume we now we are sending data and all. So it could be possible the consumer is slow, it's not able to consume. Then then it will be slow. It will not be able to. Data is there, but it is stored in the queue. It's stored in the pipe. How to store it? So then there's a new concept called partitions. Okay. So Kafka topics are partitioned. Like if one topic have multiple partitions, they are 1, 2, 3. Assume 3 different partitions. Okay, so all these partitions will hold the message in their same order. Okay, so when the messages are coming, so producer is producing the messages. Okay, it will divide into the partitions. So if I have 10 records, so 10 records will divide equally across these 3 different partitions. Okay. So same message. So same message will be we can have a consumer group where we have a list of consumers who are consuming these message from a specific partitions. Okay, so if I have a 3 consumer, so each consumer is assigned to a specific partition, and they are reading the data in a parallel, in a real time, in parallel. So you see that how previously only 1 consumer we can consume in real time. Now we have 3 consumers, and all these 3 are receiving a data in real time. So that's why the data is partitioned and it is being processed in a parallel manner. So it increases the parallelism. So you can have n number of partitions, and you can handle all those partitions. So Kafka can easily handle all those partitions. That's what is built upon. Okay, so understand the concept of partition. In each partition, the order, the sequence will remain constant, so it will not change. The order is maintained within the partition. Remember that point. The order is maintained within the partition, not for a topic. Okay, if you have 1 partition, then it's fine, it is whole topic. But if you have multiple partition, so each partition has their own order, and each message in that partition have its own offset. Like what is the number of message, means what's the index, like okay, I get first message, so we'll get as a number as 0, then I get second message, we get a number as 1, third message number as 0. This is called an offset. Okay, these offset mention that okay, where that message is, okay, what message we are consuming. So consumer 1 2 and 3. So we'll come to that point. How is the consumer consuming those specific objects? Okay. Now we understand the things or the partitions and topics. Okay. Now how exactly the fault tolerance? Assume my broker went down. So what will happen? My all topics will go? No. So Kafka provides a way you can have multiple brokers. So you can have a cluster of brokers. That's why it's horizontally scalable. The more number of brokers, more scalability will get it. So assume you add one more broker, okay, then Kafka knows that okay, I have one more broker, and this broker can store the other topics. And it's not just okay. So now these topics are divided across the brokers, and there is a leader and there is a follower. So each partition of a topics are replicated across different brokers. So one, if I have a two broker for a particular, let's take example of one topic. So one topic we have three partitions. So these three partitions will be replicated across the broker. So one broker can handle partition 1, the second broker can handle the partition 2, and the third partition can be handled by partition the broker 1. Okay. So similarly, it is being partitioned. Okay. So sorry. Similarly, it's being handled in parallel manner between two brokers, but for each partition, there is a leader broker. Which broker will handle that partition? That will be a leader, and there will be a replica of that partition in other broker, which will be called as a follower. So any new things come to this partition will be go to a leader. Leader will handle that, and that same will be replicated across the will be replicated to a different broker to have a fault tolerance. So even if the broker 1 is down, we still have a message in the partition message into a different broker. So that's why it is handled the fault tolerance. So it will never be a case that okay, my one broker is on, then I am gone with the messages. So it has a different copy into the different partition. And all this partition and all this fault tolerance being handled by Kafka. So which component handle is? If you remember in my previous session, I will talk about Zookeeper. So Zookeeper does this work for Kafka. So here we have a Zookeeper who is handling this partition and handling this fault tolerance for the Kafka. So it just says that okay, so assume that I added a new broker. So Zookeeper will know that a new broker is added, and it will tell the framework that okay, yeah, you need to replicate the partition. It will elect the leader. So which could, for this partition, who will be the leader broker and who will be the follower broker. So this is all handled by Zookeeper. So Zookeeper is an important component to selecting the leader, and if the broker goes down, reselecting a new leader, because assume that okay, there is a partition 1 is a leader for the broker 1 is the leader for partition 1. Then if the broker 1 went down, for that partition, the new leader will be elected, and those followers, the replication needs to be created. So this is handled by Zookeeper. So now we understand the concept of brokers, we understand the concept of producer, messaging. Now let's talk about the concept of consumer. So consumer can be like one consumer, and we put a consumer in a group of consumers. I can have n number of consumers. Okay, so consumer 1, consumer 2 in the same group. Okay, so why we say in the same group? I want a more parallelism. So I can assign that consumer 1 will read from partition 1, consumer 2 will read from partition 2, consumer 3 will read from partition 3. The same order, the order for that consumer, for each consumer is maintained because the partitions data have maintained the order. So consumer will receive in that order the messages coming in. Okay. Now the how consumer know which message to consume. So okay, when the consumer is started, its offset is like okay, offset is 0, initial offset. So first message to the point it's keep consuming that okay, it has suppose consumer 1 has consumed 3 messages, so it's offset 3. Consumer 2 has consumed 2 messages, it's offset 2. Similarly, consumer 3 has consumed 4 messages, so it's offset 4. So each consumer have different offsets. All this offset for each consumer you can store. Kafka provide different way. Either you can store in a persistent storage, or you can store in Zookeeper, or you can store into the services where you want it. Okay, so it provides different mechanism to store those offsets so that fault tolerant. So that if the consumer is down, or assume consumer application went down, then the offset is stored, and when it brings back up, it will start from that particular offset. From where it had stopped, it will start from that. So that's the concept of offset. So it offset is just nothing. You can understand as a number to given to the each messages, and 3 consumer. So this is called consumer group. So one consumer group and n number of consumers. So one topic can subscribe to multiple consumer can subscribe to a same topic. So similar message can goes to the multiple consumer. It just depend upon if the consumer group is same, then it will be divided across the consumer. If the consumer group is different, so each consumer group will get this same messages. Okay. So that's the concept of consuming a message. So yeah, this is all together how Kafka works, how the things are there in Kafka, and this is the architecture of Kafka. Okay. I hope this video helped you to understand how Kafka works and how exactly this is handling those fault tolerance and in a distributed fashion. If you like this video, please like and subscribe so that I can bring these more videos for you guys to learn more on. Happy learning and goodbye guys.